Good morning, lords and ladies. So, you guys sometimes ask me about where's part two or part three, I forget which part it is, about the history of revenge. And I'm going to put that as an Easter egg inside my game. But until then, I think it's kind of time that we do another special story. And I don't know if this would be like Kingdom 134 part 2 or Kingdom 134 additional story, let's call it side story. But this is definitely has to do with some history of Kingdom 134. So we've skipped, we did a little bit of history about Kingdom 54. I skipped 94 because 94 has a special place in my heart. And I've kind of skipped, I'm going to skip some big chunks of 134. We'll save that for another day. That'll be an Easter egg you guys have to find. But let's call this special story. So when you go back to the beginning of Kingdom 134, there was a lot of alliances. There was Portuguese, there was Russians, there was Koreans, Chinese, of course, some Americans, Europeans, Russians, everybody. Everybody was here. And I'm going to focus on one specific group of people. So there was this alliance called G4H. It stood for Guns for Hire. And they had come from Game of War. And I think that before they were called Guns for Hire, they may have been called GOW. So I can't remember the exact history on that, but I do definitely remember that they were called Guns for Hire. And then I had a slight rise of status in the kingdom, and maybe I kind of bullied them and persuaded them to rename to G47 or something like that. You know, guns for 7. And their premise was, when they were played like Game of War, is that they were kind of like the hitman. So people would kind of like pay them or give them some sort of rewards. I don't know exactly rewards because I've never played the game, but they would kind of like hire these guys to go kind of do the hit, and AKA Guns for Hire. And on the surface, it sounds like a fun concept, and it's a very interesting way to play the game and things like that. But there was more to these people. So when you get to know them, some of their stories were really, for me, very. You reflect on it, and there's a lot more going on, and I'll get into this in a minute. So it turns out that a lot of them were not doing so well. Some of them were part of this group. They formed this kind of alliance because they were in the hospital together. And some of them didn't have much longer. And honestly, I think that since the beginning of 134 and today, if we could track each one of their lives, there's probably 2 or 3 of them that have passed. So I can't confirm. I was never on the inside circle of this group. I didn't know them too closely. But I can tell you that this group, it had a number of people in it that they had some bad cancers, and they had some basically some terminal problems. And that was kind of like the G4H, Guns for Hire. And then they changed to G47. And then Sky kind of took over the kingdom, terrorized things a bit. And they were forced to rename, and they ended up taking the name, I think it was N something. It was like maybe an N15 or, to be honest, I totally can't remember. And that happened until, there was a point when I basically liberated them, and I said, you guys need to rename, because if you're really not allies of N14, you need to rename, because if you're allies of N14, I'm going to start attacking you. And if you're not, rename. And they said, okay, thank you. We're happy to rename, and we're happy that N14 is basically perma-bubbled. And so that started this process. And at that point, I'll be honest with you, I'm kind of skipping over a big gap of period of time, 6 months, 9 months, a year. But between the beginning, when you had this group, I would say it's about 15 or 20 people who were having a hard time. And then you skip ahead 9 months, 6 months, 12 months later. A lot of them have quit, and this rename is happening. But there's one individual who has been there basically from the beginning until now. And now we're actually going to get into the story of Lord Eddy. So, the other day, KVK, this is really, I've had a lot of respect for this person. We've had some misunderstandings in the past, and maybe I'll talk about that in a minute. But all of that aside, the other day, this person really just made such a significant impact on how do I say it? Just a wonderful person. And so we're going to go over some personal things going on in his life and stuff like that in order for you to understand, why this just utmost crazy respect. So let's go back to the other day. The other day, he found out that he had a blood clot in his leg. And the blood clot, because of other health issues, it turned into something critical. So he was helicopter flown from where he lives to Harborview Medical in Seattle. And he, at the time, he was king in our kingdom. And, right before he was being put on this helicopter and being flown, I think is 30 minutes an hour, however long it takes to fly from point A to Harborview Medical in Seattle, he was doing the king stuff in the kingdom. He was on his farms gathering things like this. And so I think that was, I want to say Thursday or Friday, his time. Could be, I don't know how it is in my time. It probably was like a Friday in my time. So I'm the same time as China. And so he's doing these things just normal. And then he's in the hospital, and he told me, he said, Revenge, I'm in the hospital. I'm on a morphine drip, and I'm kind of dopey. And I'll admit to you guys, I've never been on a morphine drip. I don't know exactly about this stuff. And I figured, okay, he's got some medical issues. So hopefully things aren't too terribly bad. Just kind of, this isn't totally unexpected. And so I asked him, I said, hey, can you pop this king talent? This one, let me show you what it is. Guided recovery. I said, KVK is going to start. I know I'm going to be doing a lot of healing. Can you pop guided recovery? And he said, no response. There was just no response. He said, he just told me, I'm really trying to get all of my farms to attack Gollum. I thought, okay. And then I didn't think too much of this. And I bugged him again. I said, Eddy, please push the king talent. And then I'd have to do the math. I don't know. I'm going to just kind of skip through the timeline a little bit here. And then he finally told me, he said, Revenge, I'm going to surgery. And I'm like, oh. And at that time, I didn't actually know that he had been helicopter flown from where he lives to Harborview Medical Center. I didn't actually know. I didn't know that. And he said, I'm going into surgery. And he didn't tell me, how serious it was. But, miraculously, minutes before he's going to go into surgery, he's logging into his farms. He's killing Gollum. He's trying to do his dailies. And he managed to press the guided recovery from the hospital minutes before his surgery so that our kingdom could have more healing, mostly for me. I'll be honest, it was a very selfish request. And so we're playing KVK, and KVK lasts, 8, 10, 12, 16 hours. It's like 8 hours for our kingdom, another 8 to conquer somebody. So it was right before KVK started that he was going to go into surgery. He came out of surgery and he messaged us. He's like, I've just woken up from my surgery. I'm not, you just woken up from a It was kind of a major surgery, to be honest. I've just woken up from it. But hey, I'm here at KVK if you need me. I'm not kidding you guys. Seriously, he's just out of surgery. He's probably under an IV drip, under some heavy medication. But the first thing that he does is he logs into the game and he's trying to be there for the kingdom. I'm just going to let that sink in for a minute. So people think this is a war game. And for you people that think this is a war game, F you. People who want to go crazy and fight and conquer, F you. This is not a war game to me. A lot of people don't quite understand that. Or at least they don't understand my perspective on the game. My perspective is actually to make friends. Seriously. I don't wake up in the morning and think about conquering people or trashing my kingdom or I'm going to beat you or anything like this. This isn't actually what I think. And that perspective confuses people. It makes a lot of people hate me, and they don't really like the tactics that I use in the game. My tactics are make friends, chill, be peaceful, and mind my own business for the most part. And if I fail at that, then I just kind of go crazy and I just, plan B. But anyway, people like Lord Eddy are the kind of people that inspire me, because they don't look at this as a game. And to me, this isn't a game. It's kind of like a hobby. So when you change the perspective of it from okay, stupid game, stupid mobile game, to a hobby, something you play with friends. Imagine if you have a friend and every weekend you're out shooting and you're out hunting with him, and then one day he gets really, really hurt really badly. But the first thing that he says after his surgery or something like that is, hey man, let's go shooting. You would probably look at that guy sitting in the hospital and you would think, man, you're super crazy. But that positive attitude that you have, that just it's inspiration just pouring out of you. Everything is against you in this part of your life, but you can just kind of push it all away and you can be there for the team. And he literally was there for the team at the end of KVK in the hospital after having a major surgery. And he logged in. He was on the throne in 377, taking hits and trying to do his best in order to basically help the team. So 134 isn't the strongest kingdom. I have no delusions about that. But I can tell you that there really is some awesome people in 134. And it's not just Lord Eddy, and I'm not even talking about myself. I'm nobody. There really is some awesome people, either here today or in the past. And I don't know how you guys will think about this video. This isn't a fighting video. There's no battle here. But it's a story and it touched me, and I just really felt like I had to share it with you guys. So yeah, this is Lord Eddy's story. And just to go into a little bit more detail, minutes before his surgery, they told him, hey man, you're gonna wake up with no leg. And by the grace of, let's just call it good fortune, or maybe if you believe in higher power, whatever it is, he woke up and he still has it. And so, his surgery, it went as well and as good as could be expected. So, let's all wish Eddy a happy, speedy recovery. He's already doing pretty well. And hopefully in next KVK, he's going to be out there kicking your butt. So yeah, this game it's not a war game. This is a game of real people. And, people have up days and down days, and things go good, things go bad sometimes. But I don't know, that's why I play this. For me, it's a lot of the social aspect of it. And you guys can hate me. You guys can talk all the trash you want. I don't mind. Bring it on. And yeah, because I know who I am. And I know who my friends are sometimes. Maybe. I don't know. In this game, it's hard to tell. But yeah, Lord Eddy is a friend. And man, this is just a big shout out to you. You're a true warrior, bro. So, okay. Love you guys. And bye-bye for now.